Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well, and I'm very proud to welcome you to our brand new Sea Power competition, our public 1960 to 1985 tactical Sea Power fleet competition. Now, because this is the first video of the competition, I need to explain what it is and why we're doing it. So first, we've been doing Sea Power for over 6 months now. When it first came out, we did an initial competition, a very simple non-tactical competition. All I did on my own was to take various 1960 to 1985 core game US and Soviet vessels and battle them against each other in a basic knockout competition. You can see Iowa versus Kirov, Iowa wins, goes through, Iowa versus Slava, Slava wins, goes through, Slava versus Sovremeni, Slava goes through, Slava wins the day. It was fun and it served a purpose. It gave us a bit of fun and it allowed us to learn about this era of vessels. But you guys, the valued viewers, wanted more. You said you wanted a new competition with the 3 following features. You wanted, instead of just single vessels or single types of vessels, you wanted mixed fleets. Also, you wanted those fleets to be controlled as best we can by public humans, you guys. And third, you wanted it to be more tactical rather than just here is A, here is B, press go and see what happens. You wanted it as tactical as we could make it, and so here we are. In May 2025, the new public 1960 to 1985 tactical competition. So I'll talk you through the process, viewers. The first thing I did all the way back, this is ages ago now, on the 18th of December last year, I put this invitation out in the Sea Power competition area in our Discord. Guys, the applications are now open for the Sea Power public competition. Here is a point sheet, and we'll go through the point sheet, and here is your application form where you fill out and create your fleet. You create a fleet, you set it out tactically, you send it to me, and I add it to the competition. The rules are critical. In your fleet, you are only allowed up to 10 vessels. Your 10 vessels can only be a total of 400 points, and we'll go over the points in a minute. You need to give me a diagram of your fleet formation, which will be critical, max 10 by 10 nautical miles spread. And let us know where you want the threat axis. Note, although you can use CVs, you cannot use the aircraft from them, so they can only be used as escort ships essentially. And the actual rules for the battle, so you know how to create your fleet. It will be a big knockout competition, again, between fleets, and each battle will have 3 sub-battles. Battle 1. The fleets will start 150 nautical miles between the centre of fleets, and all of this wording is critical to how I created it. AI will control both sides. Obviously, Sea Power is and will always be single player, so I have to set them out so that AI has to control everything. And all ships will be set to free fire, so as soon as they see something that they can fire at, they will fire at it. Otherwise, no input from me. In this battle, there will be no AWACS, and this is critical, so the fleets will not be able to see each other, they'll have to find each other themselves. Finally, a maximum of 1 helicopter will be flown from the flagship. You have to select a flagship on your fleet towards the hostile fleet to detect them to allow firing. So that's the first battle. The second battle is a traditional GR battle. 50 nautical miles between the centre of fleets, AI control both sides, free fire, but this time an AWACS is in position. So this time we press go, everyone can see everyone, and they fight. Finally, galleon battle, where we just line them up 1 mile away from each other and we press go. Why have I done this configuration, viewers? Well, it kind of tests everything. It means you have to make your fleet so that it can win at least 2 of these 3 battles. A long range semi-tactical battle, a medium range non-tactical pure firepower battle, and a close range gun battle. That makes it very difficult for you to create your 10 vessels within the 400 points limit and your formation to win 2 of those 3 battles. And it's probably going to be interesting to watch, or I certainly hope so. Next, we need to look at the point system so you understand how that works. And this is where I guess one of the main tactical features of the campaign is. So we have this lovely big database created by Red6, thank you very much, and he's participating in the competition as well. What it does is it takes all surface ships from Sea Power and assigns points based on their capabilities. There are 2 subsheets. The first is core game 1960 to 1985, and that's what this competition is going to be. If this competition is successful and you like it, then we'll do a post core game competition which includes later vessels up to the 2020s, but today 1960 to 1985. we had to sit down and look at how we assess how many points each vessel should cost. So you can see the vessel along the left hand side. Maybe I'll zoom in a bit more to make it easier to see. There we go. Oiril, Kirov, Kiev, Slava, Nimitz, Sovereign, Iowa, blah, 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 blah. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of vessels in sea power, NATO, Warsaw Pact, or other coalition. First, era. Depending on which decade the ship belongs to is how many points it costs. 3 for 1980, 1 for 1960. Next, class. The larger the class, if it's a capital ship, if it's a CV, 15 points, CV Vestal, 10 points, battleship, 8 points, cruiser, 6 points, and so on. Next, anti-ship missiles are obviously critical. It's the main thing that sea power is about. We've split the anti-ship missiles into 2 categories. Greater than 50 miles range, less than 50 miles range. Then we have to assess the type, quantity and firing method of each anti-ship cruise missile. And if you're really nerdy like me, then this is where it all gets super exciting. So I'm just going to take Kirov. We all know Kirov. It's missiles that are greater than 50 miles. Are they supersonic or subsonic or don't exist? They're supersonic, so it costs 6 points. How are they fired? VLS is obviously better than pod. It's VLS, so it's 6 points. It's a bit more complicated than that, but I'm just simplifying it down for today. Magazine size. How many missiles in the VLS? There are 20. That will cost you 10 points. Similar with anti-ship missiles less than 50 miles. Does it have them? Yes. Are they VLS based? Yes. How many are there? 12. 6 points. So every time you see a point like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, it will go towards the total. SAMs, greater than 15 miles, less than 15 miles. Kirov, does it have them? Yes. Fort system, costs you 4 points. Are they VLS? Yes. 6 points. Magazine size, 90 of them, will cost you 40 points. SHORAD, does it exist? Yes. 2 points. VLS? Yes. Magazine size, 40, cost you 20 points. Finally, we go on to CWIS, important for defence. How many CWIS does it have? 6, costs you 6 points. Total of all those points added up, 130 points. And it just so happens Kirov is the most expensive vessel based on these parameters. Just look at some more for fun. A Kiev carrier, 101. A Slava cruiser, 110. A Sovereign, 53. A Kinder, 37. Let's get some Americans. A Leahy cruiser, 63. A Belknap, 47. Virginia cruiser, 50 or 53, I can't read that, but you get the idea. So you take your 10 or less vessels, add their points up. If it's less than 400, it's allowed. Which moves us on to our final slide for today. Don't worry, viewers, the boring bit is almost over, which is our competition thus far. So I put the public invitation out, and 10 people have replied. At least I found 10 people on the database that filled out their sheets. I should note that this was done before the beginning of this year. The reason it's taken so long to get on with it is because so many new ships have come out in sea power. I've been obliged to cover them, so I've put this on the back burner. It's just been sitting here for 4 months doing nothing. The guys who signed up, you will know some, you won't know some. So Guitar, Pony, Fly, Corp, me, Davros, Ed, Red 6, he created the big spreadsheet for us, Dirty, we're waiting for his fleet still, and Alien, that number there. What they did was sent their fleet constitution, and you can see, I'm just going to pick an easy one, Red 6 here, 2 Sovereign, 53 points each, 2 Iowas, 35 points each, 4 Virginia cruisers, 50 points each, 1 Grisha 3, 18 points, total 394 points for him. I've noticed a couple of errors. Fly has definitely done his wrong, so I invite you to come and correct them slightly before your battle. As well as that, I need to know how you set your fleet out. Your formation is absolutely critical. It can be in a 10 mile by 10 mile box as specified in the rules, and you can see the guys have given me their formations. Waiting on a couple of guys, including myself. I'll do it as soon as I get a moment, and that's it. I plug it into Sea Power, and we see who wins. So it'll be Guitar versus Pony, knockout. Fly versus Corp, knockout. Me versus Davros, knockout. Ed versus Red, knockout. And then Dirty versus Alien. We go through and we get one winner. So viewers, today is Guitar versus our beloved Pony. That's Guitar's fleet there. Total 360 points. You don't have to use all 400 points. And this is Pony's here. Note, their flagships are Sovereign here and Kirov here. I did put the advice out at the beginning to choose the ship as your flagship that has on board the fastest helicopter. It's going to be tactically beneficial for you. And here are the fleet formations. Qatar, you probably can't see that. We'll go through it in a minute. And here is Pony, a completely different type of formation. And that's all we can gather from this sheet. So at this point, we move through to Sea Power. This is stage 1, the 150-mile semi-tactical battle. I'm going to use as little as your time as I need. There is a bullseye here. This fleet is set exactly 75 nautical miles this way. This fleet 75 nautical miles this way. Pony's fleet is red. Qatar's is blue. You can see I've set it out exactly to scale how we wanted it, with the threat axis obviously pointing at Pony. Note the Sovereign Many is the flagship, and very importantly, the centre mass of the formation there is exactly 75-mile point. That may become critical. The way it works is a helicopter will take off from the ship. I can't actually force it to take off. You just have to trust me because it's a single-player game. I have to do it from scripting from the mission editor. So the correct helicopter, a KA-27, which comes from the Sovereign Many, will take off here, start from this point here, exactly where the flagship is, laterally, and fly towards the centre and try and detect the other fleet. Same thing over here. 3,000 feet, KA-27, which goes, of course, on board that ship there, which is a Kirov, will fly from the flagship towards the centre point. Note, again, the centre point, wherever it is exactly 75 miles. That's it. We can jump in at this point. And off we go. We are attached here to the flagship of Qatar's fleet. Now, it's important to say, viewers, that Sea Power, as you know, is a single-player role-playing game. It is not a multiplayer game. It is not designed for what we're doing with it here. We are completely abusing it, and that's kind of cool. That's what we do. We make different games out of existing games. So you're going to have to follow my method as I go, and hopefully you'll understand what I'm doing. We can only see, as it stands, Qatar's fleet, but don't worry, we won't interfere with it in any way. It will be completely used by AI, and Ponies will be completely used by AI. Why? Well, because we need to have it completely fair on either side. Otherwise, there's no point at all of doing this competition if I just use these guys and maneuver them, because I can't maneuver Ponies. So we're starting at 150 nautical miles. The first thing that has to happen is we need to find each other's fleet. So what's happening is, of course, is a helicopter has essentially taken off or moved from the position of the flagship. It's the correct helicopter that goes aboard that particular flagship, flies towards the centre to try and spot the other fleet. Well, let's get on with that. Nothing can happen until you've seen the other fleet. So we can see our helicopter here. It's a pretty good helicopter, actually. We can see Pony's helicopter here, but we can't see any of his fleet. In fact, we can see it by its emissions only, so we know it's there because it's got its radar on. Otherwise, we don't know where it is or what it's actually doing. It's just very much a guess. It's somewhere within that elongated ellipse there. That's all we know. It's the area of certainty. Now, at this point, what should happen in Sea Power is that they use their radar to find the other fleet, and we can absolutely model that in Sea Power, but what we can't do is do that fairly. The way Sea Power works is the radars, you can see the radar bulge there, is modelled very well, and it will see the fleet, but it will not allow the fleet to be attacked because it cannot classify fairly between human and AI the fleet as hostile. Let me explain. My helicopter here will eventually get close enough to see their fleet. It will see them, but it won't know that they're hostile. So I'll have to classify them manually as hostile, at which point my fleet will start shooting. The AI can't do that, or should I say the AI does that very differently, and the red side is completely AI controlled. It will not see them until much later. It will not be able to classify me as hostile until much later in the battle. What does that mean for us? It means we cannot do this fairly at all, and I will shoot, I don't know, 10-20 minutes before the red shoot, which is obviously completely useless for what we're doing. So I've modified the rules slightly. All we say is that when the helicopter gets to this centre point here, this observation post, I will convert the helicopter into an AWACS. What does that mean? The good thing about an AWACS is it will not only see the hostile fleet, but it will be able to identify them as hostile straight away, especially when being controlled by the reds. Well, it's a weird workaround, viewers, but it works. What does that test? It tests the speed of the incoming helicopter, which is critical. That's what this battle is all about. How fast can your helicopter get to a point where it can see the enemy fleet? So this helicopter is going to have a much more of a benefit over, I don't know, an SH2 or whatever someone else's AEW helicopter is, and it's otherwise fair. Okay? I hope that makes sense. It's the best we can do. We've had to take liberties to do this because, as we said, and why I explained it at the beginning, this is a one-player game and it is not in any way designed for doing what we're trying to do here. Right, now I have to know where that red helicopter is for this to work, and at the moment I don't. You can see all I've got is an ellipse of certainty here, and I'm not very certain where it is. All I can hear is its emissions, see its emissions. Eventually, though, it will get close enough to my observation post to be visually see, whoops, wrong way, and then we'll know it's about to go over the centre point. Now, if you're watching and thinking this is all very weird and complex, it is. It took me so long to get all this stuff working, so it's roughly fair. I'm still not 100% it's actually going to work. Alright, I'm just going to pause it there for a second. You can see the red helicopter is now visual, which means that we know exactly where it is. Our helicopter, obviously, because it's our player side, we know exactly where it is. Now, the blue guy is going to get to the centre point first. Why is that? Well, it's because what I was trying to drum into you guys at the beginning, the centre mass of the fleet is at 150 miles from the centre point, but the helicopter has to take off from your flagship, and you decide in relation to the centre point of your fleet where that flagship is. So you wanted tactical, viewers. This is the best I can give you tactical. Your fleet creation, your fleet formation, and all these things that are going to come into play. In an ideal world, it will be a multiplayer game, and I could get, so-and-so controlling that and so-and-so controlling that, but, that ain't going to happen, obviously. Right, blue is going to get there first, and it's going to get its AWACS first. So I'm going to quickly do the jazz that's needed. It's made it, it's just about made it there, boom, near enough. I'm going to quickly do that. I'm going to quickly go there. I'm going to spawn in on the player side an aircraft, number 1 There it is. I'm going to make it so that it can't be seen, and boom, we now have our helicopter has reached the centre point. We're now simulating. It can now see the opposing fleet. So get rid of that. Ever so quickly take control of my guy here. Delete any orders. It's automatically given. Turn its radar on. I should see the fleet, and it's done. There's one tiny bit I will have to do, which is just to manually convert these to red, or I may have to on the player side. Just give it a second. It should work fine on the other side. I can't see all of Pony's fleet, and this is why I believe he's done this tactical formation to help fool my AEW. Pony's helicopter's not quite arrived yet. We can quickly watch some missiles going out. Who's firing? It's going to be RGM-109s from an Iowa. What else is happening? Nothing else is firing, and we'll go back and we can analyse all that in a bit. I've just got to spot Pony's guy first. Alright, Pony's guy's arrived. I've just got to do the jazz now quickly. Boom. Should be done. Let's check the AWACS has worked. It's there. It's going to have its radar on. Right, Pony's AWACS is in. Its radar is on. It should be able to see us. See whether it is firing its missiles yet. Yes, it's worked! Missiles coming out, look, everything's working. It's the first time I've really run this through, viewers. Now, one more thing, I need to designate this as hostile. There's just some extra little bits I have to do because it is a one-player game. Don't worry, otherwise, it's, as you can see, it's all working out as fair. Which is a critical thing in getting this working. So, there is Pony's Iowa at the rear, firing. This is his formation that he wanted. It was jolly exciting to see it working. Note, how many missiles it will fire will depend on the threat or depend on the missile tables. So, that, obviously, I have no control. That's hard-coded. We've got an Iowa's fired, they fired all of their RGM-109Bs. We've got the flagship. He's chosen this here because it was fast helicopter. Kirov battle cruiser. Firing its brain 700. Sea Shadow. Come on, guys. P700. I've forgotten. You know what it is. Down here, we've got some American ships because he's American. Oh, Jesus Christ. That went right past. If you're wondering why they're in offset lines, it's because sea power. Well, it's not the sea power is stupid. It's that missiles will actually kill your own guy if it's in the way of the missile. Do you know what I mean? So originally these were on a straight line, and the missiles just killed their own guys, and it took me ages to debug that boat. So I ended up staggering them in lines like this, and the guys were happy with it in the end as a solution. Anyway, bunch of kids there, 35 points each, or whatever they are. That's it. I'm glad to say everything appears to be working. We've got RGM-109B from Guitar. I'd say 16 of those. SSN-3, you don't even know what that is, and who fired that? 4 SSN-3s. Where does that come from? Let's just have a little look. Oh, it's from Kinder. He's got a Kinder Cruiser. Right, old P-35 Progress missiles from the 1960s have been fired. Now, how far do we run this simulation, viewers? Because we're 150 miles. You know what I can do? I can clean up some of those helicopters and get rid of them. Die. I just didn't want helicopters everywhere. There's no need for it. It won't make any difference, viewers. So what was I saying? Yeah, how far do we actually run this? Well, that's a good question. Because this one is meant to be the long-range battle. I don't want them going in for guns. And it would take ages to do that anyway. So if we run it to about 100 miles, maybe 80 miles, we'll see. Now, what can we see here? We can see the P-700s diving. Shipwrecks, aren't they? Shipwreck missiles. These were very scary for America in the 1980s. The missiles are meeting each other at the midpoint, which is that observation post there. These guys are diving, at which point I'll probably lose track of them. Oh, we can probably speed things up now. There's a bunch more RGMs there. The AWACS, I've made them invincible, viewers, because they are representing a helicopter having found the hostile fleet at long range. Okay, defense out already. I'm just going to quickly measure that. What is that? The defense came out at a massive 42 miles. Why? Is this guy? Because this guy stayed up high. That's the Hunter missile. That's going to data link information targets back to the other missiles. Now, will it get shot down before it passes that information on? Yes, it will. No, it won't, because there's another one. No, that hunter died, so this one now replaces it as Hunter at 1,000 feet. This will now find the information and send it back to the others. They're very clever missiles, or could have been. Will they get to see the fleet before they're blown up? That's the critical thing. If they don't, they won't pass the information on. The missiles will be 100 times less effective. However, I suspect they will. You know when it's found the fleet because it will dive back down, because it's got the information it needs. It's now about 25 miles away. I've got to quickly check the other guys aren't being attacked, and they're not really yet. Progress missiles are much less sophisticated. They just fly up here and dive down. Still searching for the blue fleet, and the blue is still trying to snipe them down. Back over to this side. Progress, and now found their targets with their radars, and they're diving down, and they're being intercepted, kinda. Trying to watch both now. P-700s about 15 miles away. I wouldn't be surprised if they found Qatar's fleet. I'm going to go and check the P-700s. The P-700s have now found Qatar's fleet, divided the targets, assigned data link tracks, and they're going in for the kill. They're very, 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 very hard to stop at this point. I would not want to be Qatar at the moment. I'm not too worried about Pony's fleet. I suggest they can probably shoot those P-35 missiles down with ease. You can see they've decided their targets when the green lines are relayed. And that means each P-700s can go for a different target. One of the reasons these missiles were so damn deadly. One shot down. Oh, okay. Loads of radar-laid guns coming in. Now, here's a problem with this salvo of missiles. They're supposed to stick together in terms of longitude, long axis, but they didn't. They came in at different long timings, which is bad for them, so they didn't do very well. We're going to get some hits here. Now, how do you know who wins the battleship at that point before someone gets killed, viewers? It's the amount of points you destroy if the other... No one's going to wipe the fleets out completely, that just doesn't happen. But the amount of points you destroy. Well done, Qatar. You absolutely smashed a large salvo of P-700. Formation worked. Or did it? Yes, it did. Well done, well done. Right, on to Pony. And you can see he's wiped out. Has he? Freaking has he? Tell me, progress isn't easy. American Seabird shot it down. That's it for the first salvo of supersonic missiles. No one's been touched, but critically, lots of people would have used a lot of missiles. Therefore, they're weakened. The next salvos will be the subsonic missiles, which will arrive. The blues will arrive first, because the blues, of course, got the helicopter to position first. Oh, lots of talking today, viewers. I know some of you don't like complex stuff or stuff where I have to talk a lot, but this is going to be a talky one for all the reasons that are kind of obvious, right? I don't have much hope that subsonic missiles will get through. Most of them have been destroyed already. We got our first hit, a 59-point Ticonderoga going down. Gotcha! Qatar beating Pony. Oh shit, what's happening here? All the things. Let me quickly make sure the AWACS haven't bugged. That one's good. That one's good. And go. Well, it's a bit ragtag, viewers, but if you've got a better way of doing this, please let me know. Huge defence coming out from Qatar's fleet. Interesting that it's chosen a fairly small flagship, but it's working out so far. Radar-laid guns, smashing everything down. Subsonic's getting wiped out pretty easily. Quickly check on the attack on Pony. He's defended his attack. A couple of progress missiles, but otherwise nothing else. Will there be Pony retribution? Another one. Easily defended. Right, so one ship hit, and I should say it has to be fully sunk for it to actually be counted as points, and it does not look like it's been fully sunk. Right, a couple of more missiles coming in, but the progress is, so I doubt much will happen. We're going to figure out what happens now, viewers. We're still at, well, pretty much 150 miles because we're only 45 minutes in, so let's go and see who's still got missiles to fire. Sovereign still has missiles, and she has a range of Sunburn. Well, apparently Sunburn can only go 48 miles. I'm pretty sure that's not true. Let me try picking that again. Sunburn can only go 48 miles. Well, we're not going that close in on this battle, so that's just tough. Tychos will have, or C-model harpoons, 65 miles. We're not going that far in. That's the 50-mile battle. Iowas have fired all of their anti-ship missiles. Tychos, they can't have the range. Kinder has got one missile left. Virginia doesn't have any anti-ship missiles. So, this fleet only has one more long-range missile to fight in the long-range battle. What about these guys here? Oh, kid down. Oh, pony. It got hit by Progress. And Progress got through. Wow. I missed it. I apologise, viewers. One kid down. This has got 65 range miles. This guy's survived the damage. He's got 65 mile missiles. This guy's got 65 mile missiles. Kirov has used all of her long-range missiles, which have a range of 400 miles. Iowa used all of her missiles. So, we're in a position where only one ship now has a long-range missile to use. It's this Kinder here, and it's about to use it. Let's get it done. You're going to ask at this point, why don't you close and close and close? Well, the thing is, it's going to take hours to do, viewers, and we've got other battles that cover the closer range elements. Now, if you want to change that at some point, we can change that. I've made the rules up. I figured they are the best rules, but if you think I've got it wrong, then let me know by all means. I doubt a single one will get through. Boom, taken down. Right, that's it. Qatar wins the first battle. Why? Well, the rules I set were that as I said, no one's going to wipe each other out. That's just not going to happen. So the one that destroys the most points of the other guy wins, and the only ship sunk is a kid ship of ponies. Therefore, Qatar wins that, guys. And it did its job. It was there to protect the expensive Kirov, but because Pony didn't do any damage to Qatar, it's irrelevant. Next, we move into the 50-mile battle with AWACS. So we start looking at Qatar's fleet again, this time 50 nautical miles between centre mass of formations. Both have cheating AWACS, so everyone can see everyone. They can make decisions who to fire at the beginning, unpause, and hopefully maximum boom happens. Oh look, Pony's front guys are firing as well, because now we're of course in range of the American harpoons, and that's how I designed, Battle 2. Battle 2 will include the medium range weapons as well as the long range weapons. Battle 1 is just the long range weapons, i.e. above 80 nautical miles. This is going to be a bit chaotic to watch, I'm not going to lie. Basically everyone's going to fire every missile they've got at this point. Qatar I would describe as a more traditional formation, at least in sea power. Pony is a bit of a maverick formation, designed purely for this competition. Okay, oh no, not all missiles at a flagship. Why hasn't she shot all of her missiles? Well, it's the way that sea power works. It doesn't just treat it as a single vessel against a group, it treats it as a group against a group. It decides on a group attack, if that makes sense. I want so many of these missiles, so many of these missiles, so many of these missiles, all based on their threat table, fires them, and then does it again. I don't know exactly how it works, obviously. But there you go. SM2s, shooting down Lord knows what. Boom, shooting down something. Shooting down the P700s. Well, that's an expensive thing to be shot down so early on. Sunburn's not really... Oh, look, Sunburn's out now. Now, here's the thing. It said a max range of 48 miles. You saw it as well, but it's being used here at 50 miles. So I don't know what's going on there, viewers. I can only tell you what's on the information sheet. They'll ramp up to about 3 times the speed of sound, and they're very hard to stop. It's curving in now, it's found its target. Who's it going for? It's going for the biggest RCS, which is going to be the flagship. That's real bad for Pony. That's why he put these guys here to protect it. But the thing is, if I put them perfectly in line, they will get shot by their own tomahawks, and I've explained that to Pony, and he agrees with it, so it is what it is. That may be the flagship down. Oh, it's not the flagship down. Well defended, well defended. Oh, look, it shot its own flagship. What a knob. Just a massive... Got progress up there. SM2 shooting P700. P700's having a hard time of it. As I was saying, they're not really designed to be shot at 50 miles. They're designed to be shot at well over 100 miles. That's how the dive profile works. Everything in the middle here. Everything going for everything. Ah, god damn phone, stand by. Sorry viewers, I just had a phone call I had to take. Come back and I've just noticed the P700's got through just one, made it through. Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? Is it going to hit? It's going to hit something. Look how much gunfire there is. Oh no, P700's all taken out. Wow, okay. It's now down to subsonic missiles. All supersonic missiles have failed. We've now got Harpoon A's here from the, well, whatever. Harpoon C's I see. There we've got 109s in there somewhere. I just can't see them at the moment. Red missiles. Well, same types of missiles, I suppose. What do we watch? I don't know. That. Maybe some of... Everyone fired at the same time, so everything's going to arrive at the same time, viewers, so you're just going to have to pick a side and go for it. I believe. We do have this big map here, but you can't really see much from there. It's just like a nice 3D view. Right, well, Pony lost the last one, so I'm hoping he brings it back here. We'll have to see. Remember, it's the amount of points destroyed that wins it. Pony's frontal Aegis, you can see his design of his fleet is to put this Aegis right at the front here, just to neutralise everything. And if one of these frontal ships gets hit, it's not the end of the world. They're all 30 to 50 pointers. But the problem with the missiles is they're smart. They ignore these and they go for the big RCS ship, which is the Kirov. There, look at it, look at it be smart. Same on the other side, they'll ignore the frontal ships and they'll go for, well, I don't know, whatever they see as the flagship. Right, get ready for boom boom, viewers, it's about to happen. Because no one's stopping this many missiles. Ah, helicopter just got blown up by accident. No, what was it? No, it was a harpoon. Look, the ships are shooting backwards now. Something's been hit. Oh, 3 Aegis pickets have just been hit. I don't think any of Qatar's have been hit. I think Qatar just has a better defence, look. Qatar definitely has a better defence. I don't know why that is. Oh dear. Pony's flagship's going to be hit. And none of Qatar's are going to be hit. Why is his formation so much better? Still got 300, 400 point restriction. Oh dear, Pony's flagship's gone. Well, that's Pony down. Let's see how well these Tomahawks, etc. do. Remember, I don't decide what the targets are. The AA will shoot at what the AA want to shoot at, and the missiles will go for what the missiles want to go for. Let's pick this ship out in the middle of it. God knows what it went for. It went for a Virginia Cruiser, question mark? Is that a Virginia Cruiser? Oh, it's just... Why did Pony's attack fail? Why did Pony's defence fail? Why did Qatar's attack defence win? Ich weiß nicht. Well, it shows there is definitely tactics here, viewers. I know we don't get to control the vessels tactically, but clearly the guy with a better formation and fleet has won this. Which is really good work at the end of the day. Alright. Pony's attack almost over. There's a few more dregs come in. Let's see the damage done. 1 Virginia hit, and she's still defending. No other ships hit. We'll go through each one and just double check, but I'm pretty sure no other ships are going to be hit. Pony, however, has suffered real bad. Oh, kid, that's going to sink. Kid's going to sink. Kid's going to sink. But don't get me wrong, the picket didn't do its job. Not only did it not do its job, it got sunk and every single one has been hit. What can we learn from this? I really don't know, viewers. Why was Qatar's attack so much better? I really don't know. Iowa is going to sink. Iowa's going to sink. Flagship's going to sink. All pickets going to sink. I have never Well, obviously I haven't seen anything like this before because it's the first time we've done it, but still. Oh, and there's more coming. Leave him alone. He's already dead. Sorry, Pony, but you got some more coming. Look, and they've even split up well. Not bad for old Proke. No, they're all going for his mothership. No, I don't know. Just as H crossed. Hit again. Hit again. Oh, dearie me. Still they're firing. Now what's going on here? One lone Pony harpoon's got through the mess. Can it do it? No, clearly. Alright, viewers! We have our winner for today. It's Guitar. Well done. So this battle, full battle, has now been won. 2 out of 3 obviously, but we'll do the broadside for funsies. Right, can Pony get some measure of self-respect back? He's in red, Guitar's in blue. Punch it. I suppose you want to see an Iowa, don't you? Go, Iowa. Come on, sink that. Oh, jeez, look at that. Just fire the damn 16 inches. Why is it so hard? There we go. Oh, Iowa versus Virginia. Wow, when did this happen? Right, first ship's down, combatant down, whatever the hell that is down. Wow, S-300's being fired at God knows what. More S-300s. Let me see a ship. Guitar's flagship's being hit by 16 inches. Whatever the hell that is. 30 mil. Oh. There's a ship down the end there that's untouched. 16 inches ploughing to Sovereign. Some is just blown. More sick. Look at that. Zoom. Jam. Dun. 130 mils going out. He is getting through a Wenge. Look at the difference. Did blue have Iowas? No Iowa. No Iowa. Oh, here's why you have an Iowa in your fleet, because you all know, oh, there you go. You all know there's going to be a guns battle. This Iowa's down here. It's taking on this Iowa. Oh my goodness gracious me. This Iowa just got absolutely smashed to pieces. Yes, and it smashed to pieces. Yes, and it smashed to pieces. SM2s were direct firing on it all the time. I don't know who's going to win now. 4 blues have sunk. 1 red has sunk. And this is the guy that worries me. The blue Iowa out the bottom here. Sniper's rank. Something blew up. Kirov just blew up finally. I'll leave him. He's already dead, dude. He sent out chaff. That's not going to save you. What's that? What is that he's firing? What's he firing? Didn't even know what that was. It's a harpoons. He's firing his See, he moved away to get in harpoon range. Clever girl. Wow, look at the damage he's about to do. Look at the damage he's about to do. That's going to smart. That's going to smart in the winter. That's a Kirov, 100% sunk. And there are more going. What a great tactic that was from the blue Iowa. Run away bravely and sink all of the red assets. And I mean all of the red assets have just been sunk in that one salvo. And you know when I said all, I mean all of the red assets. I hope I'm making myself clear. Pony fought bravely, but he was just outclassed in every way in this competition battle. I reckon Guitar's going to go on to win this. I mean, it smashed a 150 miler, it smashed the 50 miler, and now it's smashed the 1 miler. It's just a perfect mix. Balance. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe it's all about balance. Balance everything. Except you can't do everything. Balance it nicely. I don't know. You tell me, viewers. You're smarter than me. Anyway, it's a win, and they're all dead. Viewers, that's the first battle of our new 1960 to 1985 competition. I hope you enjoyed that.